All right. Welcome to the Lesson 4 in our Math 21 Outcome 9B. We're doing investments, and yesterday we talked a little bit about the compound interest formula, and we found the value of I in it. So whenever you see something that's compounded, you're going to go to your formulas, and you know right away this is the formula that you need. So now let's just read through the question and figure out what we know. Celine is investing $3,000. Okay, so that means that your P is 3,000. So she can buy a car in the next 5 years. Okay. It is 4.8%. So I divide that by 100. Now if I want to find I got to divide it by how many compounding periods? Quarterly means 4. So when I go 0.048 divided by 4, I get 0.012. So 1 plus 0.012. Now my n is the number of years multiplied by how many times I get compounded a year, which is 4. So now all I'm going to do is simplify my expression. 3,000. Add those two up. 5 times 4 is 20. Now this is my first step. I'm going to use the exponent button on my calculator. It might look like that. It might look like that. Or it might look like that. However, try this, so make sure that you can get this on your calculator. It's really important that you can. I get roughly 1.269434362. Now I multiply those two answers together, and because it's money, I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So that's how much money I'm going to have at the end of the 5 years. I'm going to have $3,808.30. So if I initially invested $3,000, my interest would be $808.30. Example 2. It's another compounded question, so I know I need to use this formula. I am investing $6,000. Now I need to find I. So I take my rate, which was 4.00%, divide that by 100. Now it is compounded semi-annually. Semi-annually means twice a year. So when I divide that, I get an I value of 0.02. It's going for 3 years. And then twice a year. So now I'm just going to simplify. I add. So 1 plus 0.02 is 1.02. 3 times 2 is 6. This is what I punch in next. Get 1.126162419. Now I multiply. And I get $6,756. And again, because it's money, I round it 2 decimal places. So if I initially invested $6,000 and I end up with $6,756.97, my interest would be $756.97. I have one more quick example to do. And all we're going to do is show why the future Emma video was right. So I have a compounded question. And now I'm just going to plug in what I know. So Fry had 93 cents. He then went into the future. Okay? The bank had a rate of 2.25%. We've got to change that to a decimal first. And his is compounded annually, so if I want to find I divide that by once a year, and I get 0.025. So that goes in for my I. It's 1,000 years into the future he went, and once a year. So 1,000 times 1. So A equals 0.93. I add. And I lost some 2's here. My mistake. And then 1,000 times 1 is 1,000. So now these numbers are really big. On your test, you're not going to get numbers this big. But I just want to show you what happens on your calculator. When you get that, it comes out 5.294993018 times 10 to the 10. Now, I would leave that on my calculator and then just multiply. I get 4.924343507 times 10 to the 10. What that means is, really, if I write this decimal out again, so I'm going to write it a little bit bigger. The times 10 to the 10 means that I have to move it 10 places to the right because it's positive for my decimal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's where my new decimal would be. And there's one gap, so I have to put 0 in there. So 49243435070. That's a group of 3. And I get my $49 million. And that's where we're going to stop practice or lesson 4. So now you should make or work through practice 4.